Are you tired of sitting on the sidelines watching opportunities pass you by? You know you have what it takes, but something's missing. It could be doubt, confidence, or fear that you're not representing your best self. Whatever it is, it stops now. It's time to align your passion with your purpose and seize the opportunities that await you. I want to see you get back in the game. So join me and my expert guests as we talk all things image, branding, and a bit of entrepreneurship. So if you're ready to gain insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you amplify your presence and define your impact for greater success, sit with us as we talk about it. Welcome back to the Image Connection Show, where we go beneath the surface of image, branding, and presence to help you live and lead with impact. I'm your host, Jenny Dewberry, certified international image consultant, personal brand strategist, and consultant. Today, we are talking about something that many may think of, but don't usually have a conversation about, and that's how our professional image or professionalism is more than just putting on clothes. It's more than our position, but it's also how we show up. And today I have with me someone that understands that concept as much as I do. Her name is Julie Branden. She is my colleague. She is also an international image consultant. She is the CEO of JPBranden Image Consulting. She has over 20 years of experience in image consulting and executive coaching. Julie has also built a reputation for elevating high-profile individuals, corporate leaders, and service industry professionals through intentional image strategy and customer-centered thinking. Her work goes beyond appearance. It's about behavior, communication, and how all three and how all three shape perception, trust, and opportunity. So help me welcome Julie to the show. Welcome, Julie.
Hi, so happy to be here finally.
Yes, finally. I am happy to have you here today. I think this conversation is going to be really good. I think it's a good conversation because in our personal conversations, a lot of these things that we're going to be talking about today, we have talked about already. And so we're just going to expound upon those things. And so I want to start with your journey in this industry, 20 years.
Whoa.
Or over 20
Actually, it's 2 years now. Yeah.
years.
I
Yeah.
started Vivid Image Consulting in 2004.
Wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
Name changed a couple of years ago during COVID. I'm like, you know what? I'm putting my name in my company, and I did it. So I am now JPBranden Image Consulting.
And what was your path to getting there?
It's amazing because I worked at a casino as a cocktail server. You bought a consultant, an image consultant. And I was just like everyone else, didn't know what it was. Well, during the session, she trained on appearances, the hair, the clothing, the makeup. And I'm like, I'm already doing that already. I own a beauty salon, selling Mary Kay makeup. So I talked to my manager. I'm like, who is this person? What does she do? And that night, I gave birth to Vivid Image Consulting because I already had the experience, the hair, the makeup. But when I went to London Image Institute, I found out it was much more.
Absolutely. Yeah, me too. You and I have a similar background. I started off in corporate. Then I moved to salon ownership and doing hair. And then from there, I went into styling. And then that led me to image consulting. But as you said, like many, I didn't understand what it was. I thought it was just styling and clothes, but it goes so much deeper, which is why I have this show, so that we can go underneath the surface of what image is and what personal branding is, because it's so much more than what we see and what others see. It's about what they feel, their experiences, and our experiences, and the understanding of the impact of how we show up and the things that we tell ourselves, how that is presented to the world. So I'm glad you're here with me to talk about that. And we've already touched on people equating image with aesthetics alone. So in your experience and from your perspective, what actually defines a powerful professional image? And where do most people misunderstand it?
Most people misunderstand because they think it's all about the clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get real. If I speak to someone, oh, I'm an image consultant, I'm a certified image consultant, that resonates with clothing always.
Yeah.
But with a professional image, it is the clothing, it is the appearance, it's how you show up to work, how you walk in a door. So it's so much more how you communicating.
Yeah.
And still 22 years ago, every client I met with, especially in corporations, they just thought image consulting clothing. Just simple clothing. Are you still explaining to people what an image consultant does?
Yes, even today. Or if they know a little bit, they just immediately, oh my gosh, don't look at me, is what they say. Well, I'm also feeling your energy. I'm doing a little bit more than just looking at you because I'm trained to go beyond that. But
see everything.
Yeah.
When you walk in the door, what energy are you bringing? Are you excited?
Yeah.
Are you frumpy? So as leaders, even as leaders, we look at, okay, we have the managers, the supervisors, and then I always talk about the fish rods from the head because it's at the top of it. Right. How are the leaders showing up? How are the leaders dressing? And I've always said, because I come from the service industry, my expertise is the service industry. I like working leaders. I don't like leaders that everything is sinking and they're trying to delegate instead of jumping in and helping. So in image consulting, we still have to explain what image consulting is. It's all of that. It's going to be the appearance, behavior, communications, and now the digital footprint. Sure. Because what you see is what you get. Image is what? The pixels that your eyes form.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And clothing is an extension of our image. It is quite important because it's really our first line of communication. So a person, when they see us, they need to be intrigued. They need to automatically trust that we are someone that they should know, perhaps. They need to understand that we hold a certain position. And I'm talking in business, they need to know that we hold a certain position, and though they may not know what that position is or what our industry is, our presence, starting with our aesthetics, our clothing should tell a story.
It was the 7-second rule. Within 7 seconds, someone has formed an opinion about you, whether you know it or not. Yeah. Someone has formed an opinion about you. You have formed an opinion about someone else by the way they look.
Right.
So then you see that person, they're walking in a door. That's their networking party. They're walking in the door. Do they want to do business with you? Do you want to do business with that person?
Absolutely.
By just 7 seconds, the clothing, remember the appearance, behavior. That means how you walk in that door. How did you close the door? Are you stomping? And how you communicate. Remember, body language is a silent communicator.
Yeah, very true. All true. And so when we talk about the A, B, C's, and D's of image, what would you say to someone that is kind of hesitant to accept the fact that how we show up and how we're groomed and the clothes that we wear, some people feel like that's not important. And so what would you say to someone? Because it's necessary. I know it's necessary. You know it's necessary. And others that have gone through this journey and experienced what it looks like on the other side of, an image transformation understands the impact of it as well. But what would you say to someone that might be hesitant to start really thinking about how they're showing up and their presence in totality?
Well, one thing, have to define where they want to go. What's the next level? Do you want this? We think everybody wants to upgrade. Everybody do not want to upgrade. Remember Beyonce song, "Let Me Upgrade You"? Some people just don't. Some people are lax. And not meaning lax, they're comfortable. I have never been comfortable. I've never been comfortable. I've always, what's next? What I'm doing next? I've been like that since a teenager. I owned my salon at 19 years old. So I want to know what's next. So you go back into the psyche. What's stopping them? What do they want to do?
Mm-hmm.
What's stopping them? And why do they not feel it's important? And it may be their surroundings.
To be their surroundings, indeed.
The people they're surrounded by, the industry they're in. But when we as image consultants pinpoint exactly how far they may be able to go, if we tweak some things, just tweak some things, how far they may go.
Right.
Again, they may not want to go. And another thing, my sister and I had a conversation actually yesterday. Are we getting it in, especially my clients? Sometimes I get students, moms hire me. Who's in the back of their head telling them they cannot do this? Mm-hmm. They can't excel. Even with managers, supervisors, sometimes they get comfortable. Sometimes they're told that they can't get ahead.
Yeah.
So you have to find out what's in the psyche. Who's talking to them? What's their surroundings? Or are they surrounded by people that's pushing them forward?
True. Yeah.
Remember, we need to elevate. We want to elevate everyone.
That's right. You know,
sometimes they don't want to elevate because some fear is there.
Yeah.
And I tell everyone every time I've accomplished everything I've done in my life because no one told me I couldn't.
That's right.
I had the ambition to do so.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it comes back to, as you alluded to, is our values, our belief system, and the things that that's been poured into us even from childhood. It shows up in our adult lives every day, whether we realize that or not. That's really what shapes us. But we can change that if we choose to. And if a person doesn't want to take this journey, that's perfectly fine too. We're not saying that everyone, right, needs to go on this journey, because if you are comfortable, as you should be, comfortable with who you are, but if you feel a nudge that I need something else, not that something is missing, because I don't believe that things are missing from a person, but there are things that we can do to enhance whatever it is that we're trying to achieve in order to take us further in our desires, the things that we desire to have. And so I want to talk to you about executive presence and that phrase, because I know that when I first got into the image industry, I was hesitant to use executive presence because I myself, back then, many years ago, I didn't understand what executive presence was. That term just did not sit with me. I couldn't understand it. So can you talk a little bit about what that is, because it isn't always clear?
So many terms. Mm-hmm. So executive presence, but before that, it was professional presence. Professional presence, executive presence. Mm-hmm. I use authentic presence.
Okay. I
use authentic presence because when we go into executive presence, a lot of my clients feel that I'm taking away from their personality. So I use executive presence, which is the same thing.
Yeah. Yes.
So usually is executive presence. We know it's about the clothing and showing up. You touch base on showing up as an executive, right? Showing up. And it's part of leadership. So just showing up for your line employees, the people that you're managing, or the employees you're coaching, just a matter of showing up. Mm-hmm. Executive presence is everything. How you showing up? Remember, I've come from the service industry, so you have customers or guests. But as a manager, as a leader, you have internal customers and guests, and that will be your employees. Yeah. How you communicate with them, how you showing up for them, are you giving them allowed it one-on-one time with you to get to know them, and they get to know you and see if there's some things that you can help them with. Remember, as leaders, we're as great as the people we lead. So and true. I find a lot of times that some people some employees, some executives don't want their line employees or employees to surpass them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the greatness. That shows greatness in you. When you have that employee that you're coaching and they're moving up the ladder, that's a reflection of you. I get excited about that.
Yeah.
Even in coaching with my individual clients, some of them, I've had a couple come to me to do some tweaks with image consulting, the clothing, the way they stand, even with dining etiquette. They got the positions, they got the promotion. They went up the ladder, and that brings me joy. I get excited because, hey, I'm coaching, I am leading. We're leaders in image consulting. We're leading them.
Absolutely. So we're leaders in all that we do. If you believe you're a leader and you act as your actions show leadership, then you are a leader. So and it's important when we talk about executive presence beyond the clothes, as you mentioned, the body language, the verbal language, though I don't work with clients on what am I saying? Verbal communication. It's more silent communication for me. But all of those things are important. And then leading with heart, for one. I think that's a huge piece that people forget about or don't think about, is that when you lead, you have to be able to lead and be confident enough in who you are, as you said, to be able to delegate when you need to, but also put in that work to stand beside your client. I mean, stand beside your employee to ensure that they are growing in their roles as well, so that they too one day can hold that higher leadership position. And so, again, I believe that presence is key in that when your employees or when your subordinates are looking at you, they need to look at you or see an example, an example that they want to follow. They need to trust you. And so what do you say to someone, or what do you say to that? Because I think that it's underutilized. People, when they think again about C-suite or executive leadership, they really think rigid personalities. It's okay to bring your authentic self into your office and still be firm and respected. I think you're more respected when you are coming in showing your true self.
One key thing is you have to be approachable.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be approachable. So with some of the clients in the industry, again, with corporations, you have managers and supervisors that want to be friends.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get to knowing that person. They want to be chum. You can't delegate. You can't lead if you're becoming friends with that person, because you won't be able to supervise them.
That's true.
Not taking away from your executive presence. Firm, you use that word, being firm, delegate, doing things with a definiteness of purpose. That's my word, definiteness of purpose, from Napoleon Hill. But at the same time, you have to be approachable. So how do you be approachable without you losing yourself, losing that executive presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have conversations, but at the same time, clothing. We're not taking away from that executive part, but just tweaking your clothing a little bit to make you seem more approachable, so that person, that employee, can come to you with anything. Mm-hmm. And they will feel safe in your presence, meaning you're taking care of whatever issues they have. They trust you. You've built that credibility, so they will come to you. But at the same time, you have to still have that status of being here as a leader, so they would still know who's in charge.
That's right. Yeah. You have to always have boundaries when you're in a position of authority. There has to be boundaries. Otherwise, the waters get murky. And the next thing you know, as you said, you become, elbow buddies, friends, and there's no respect there and the work doesn't get done. So you are really have a background in customer service as well. In your work, how have you connected customer service with image or personal branding? Because of course, you have to have customer service experience and great customer service experience in order to be successful in with either of those. And that first impression it's a huge part in role, plays a huge role, I'm sorry, in customer service. When you're meeting someone, when someone is walking into your establishment, how are you greeting that person? What do you look like? Are you approachable? Do you make them feel comfortable? And do they trust you? And I can tell you about an incident that I had, even though, I'm going to get back to you, but an incident that I had when I walked into a furniture store many years ago, and a gentleman walked up to me wanting to help me. And then there's another gentleman on the other side just standing there. Well, honestly, I didn't think that the person that approached me worked there because it was a very high-end furniture store. He had on a red polo shirt and cardigan pants and black boots. I remember it as though it was yesterday. So to me, he looked like, well, he could have worked at the fire. I don't know. The fire station just came to mind. But then there's this gentleman over here in a suit. And I just simply said, oh, thank you, but I'm looking for this gentleman. I didn't know him, but immediately I felt that I could trust that person that was well polished, well put together, and looked like he belonged in that space. So feeling and knowing that you belong in a space or looking like you belong in a space is very important for the client and the customer to trust you and also tell others about you, right? And so I just wanted to know your take on customer service and image and how they connect.
So it depends. It's customer service is the same everywhere. It should be the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Usually a customer just wants you to listen, right? But at the same time, like you said, you walked in the store. It depends on the demographics. So you said it was a high-end store, high-end furniture. Wouldn't you want the people that work there look high-end?
That's right. Yeah.
Like the furniture?
Their brand.
So Mercedes-Benz, let's talk about it. Mercedes-Benz, you walk in the door, exquisiteness. The majority, because someone said they didn't drive the car, but the majority has a Mercedes-Benz because they're in tune, right, with that brand.
Mm-hmm.
Back to customer service. You walk in the store, 7 seconds, right? You made an assumption about the store, but then a gentleman that asks, could he help you? He wasn't dressed properly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he asked you that. What did you feel? Did you feel comfortable? Or you felt he was Joe Blow on the street playing a game on you?
Well, again, I didn't even believe that he worked there. It was just so off-putting. And it's just human nature to judge. So I won't say I didn't judge because I did. In that nanosecond, I judged. And I didn't want him to help me because in my mind, I wanted an experience. I came here for an experience. I could have went anywhere else and gotten probably the same furniture, but with a different experience. So because I came to this store because of the reputation that it had, I knew that I was going to get quality in the furniture, but I also wanted quality in the person that was helping me, that trusted me. And
so they weren't aligned. The brands were not aligned. And I find that a lot of businesses and management teams think it's not necessary because they don't see the value in having a professional presence. They don't see the value in it. And remember, money rules the world. When they start losing money, that's usually when I get called in. When the numbers go down and start losing money, like, oh, I need to get an image consultant.
Yeah, and the numbers go down and opportunities go down and they don't understand why. And if that is happening, then likely it's not your skills. It's not the lack of,
perception.
Your hard skill. Yeah, it's action. And it's also that perception, like you said, but it's also, it could be your image. It could be your personal brand. It could be your energy. People don't think about their energy. We connect with energy. I do. That confidence you're going to have a more elevated energy. You're going to have an energy that draws people in, that attracts people. There's nothing like communicating with someone, talking with someone, or being in a negotiation with someone, or or trying to do business with someone, and their energy is just so low that you can't even really get into the conversation. So
because
energy
there's
plays
no
a huge role.
energy. It's
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. You bring in my energy down because when you're surrounded by people. So let's talk about customer service. The first impression is going to be the clothing, the look, the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people most image taboos could be fixed with an iron. Iron your clothes. Just press them. Look neat. We're not looking for you to have on designer clothing, perfect bag, went to the beauty salon, got your hair done every day. We're not even asking for makeup. We're asking for you to be not well groomed, but groomed.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask you to iron your clothes? Can I ask you to make sure your beard is groomed? Grooming, line it up. That doesn't cost that much money. You asked me, what's one of the things that could be a quick fix? And came to mind was ironing their clothes. But now, because we're dealing with Gen Zs, they're in the department stores, they're in the service industry. And a lot of them don't believe in having a polished image because they don't see the value in it. They don't see how you build credibility.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes from management. Management has to see the value in it, explain to them the importance of a polished image and being aligned with the company's brand without taking away from the authenticity.
Yeah, agreed. That's good. So Julie, if we're going to go to a quick break here, but before we come back, if someone wanted to reach out to you and learn more about your services, how could they do that?
JPBranden.com and follow me on Instagram, JPBranden.
All right. So there you have it. We will be back to talk to Julie Branden, AICICIC, executive coach and international image consultant.
You're not just building a career, you're building a reputation and that of your business. At People Power Consultancy, we coach ambitious professionals to refine their image and shape a personal brand that opens doors. Because the way you show up is your message. If you're tired of blending in, second-guessing your presence, or feeling unseen, this is your moment to stand out with purpose and polish. Visit peoplepowerconsultancy.com to start your transformation. Your next level has a look. Let's define it.
Okay, and we're back talking to Julie Branden, international image consulting and executive presence coach. And so, Brent, before we left, we were talking about customer service and how image is connected to customer service and alignment. I talk a lot about alignment, and this show is about alignment and how we are aligning our image and our branding and all the things, our personal brand and all the things underneath that in order to create a positive presence, an impactful presence, and an impactful first impression. So where do you feel that alignment and image, what are the three pillars of that for you? ABCs, of course, appearance, behavior, communication, but where's that connection? Where does that connection sink? If that makes sense. Or you want me to rephrase that?
Yeah, it all goes together. So let's break it down. You have the look, and that's why I like doing total image consulting. Mm-hmm. You have that look, but then you go into the behavior. So I use the example all the time when I did my teen seminars, and I talked about image and who I was. And once you understand my image and who I am, if you see me on a corner with a 40 ounce, that's not aligned with my image, right? Something is wrong with Miss Julie. So everything needs to be synced, the appearance, the look, and then your behavior. So you can't tell me you're A, B, C, and D, but then you're doing something over here. Mm-hmm. Makes sense? Or then we see you speaking ill of others, but you say that you have a polished image. Well, polish the mouth. All that's lining up. Another thing I like to talk about is we talked about the A, the B, the C is communication. how you communicating with others on a normal basis. Remember, if it's not consistent, it's not your brand.
Yeah.
Everything has to be in line. And I remember I saw something on not social media, but it was a show. I think it was on Netflix. This guy was talking to a guru. He owned a restaurant, right? He owned a restaurant. They were helping him with his brand. He owned a restaurant. It was a healthy restaurant, but he didn't look healthy. He was overweight. You could tell that he was not healthy because he looked exhausted. It's a restaurant, so he was tired. So that whole brand had to be aligned. So when he started getting into working out and actually eating the foods that he was selling, he started looking like his brand. So everything became aligned. The appearance portion of it, how he was speaking to people, how he was behaving in the restaurant, everything was in sync. And what happened, he built the credibility. More customers came in because he was believable. This food is going to make you healthy if you keep eating it, if it's consistent. He started walking the talk and he started looking the part.
Right. Yeah.
That built him credibility. And bottom line, right? We talk about the bottom line all the time. The money went up.
Well, you're in business, so that's the idea.
Right. Because when you meet people like, I don't do it for the money. Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Because if you're not getting paid, and money is not everything, but we want to be paid for our services unless we're volunteering. But stop saying you open a business and you didn't do it for the money. Because if you're not doing it for the money, the business is going to close and it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And then the numbers show. When I speak with my clients, it's so funny. I did a casino in California a couple of years ago. And I went in and did total image consulting, the service part, help leadership training, all the 9 yards, and the numbers skyrocketed. But then it started falling. And why it started falling? Because the management was consistent. They were leading by example, and the numbers fell. So I can train hundreds of people, service industry, do the presentation, stand out, but it's up to the managers. It's up to the higher ups, right? The fish rise from the head. So if the head is falling apart, the staff is going to fall also. So they had to call me back.
That's why, sometimes most times it requires ongoing training and ongoing programs because, retention sometimes is low in these organizations. So each time you bring in a new person, I know I used to do onboarding for an organization, and each time, we would have 10 because the overturn was high for this company. So each time we had to train each person over and over again. And then
money.
And it costs money. So but it's necessary because if you're invested in your employees and in your business, then you're going to reap a larger ROI. Your return on that investment is going to increase and it's going to keep you afloat. It's going to sustain you. And so you were talking about something and it made me think about growth, because in my work, when I'm working with clients, it's not an outside thing. Image is inside out, right? So I approach it from a holistic standpoint. And there's always some type of growth in there because we're talking, we're getting comfortable with one another, but all the time in these conversations, we are uncovering some beliefs that they may need to let go of. I'm getting to know them and know their personal information and things like that. But then that's when growth begins to happen.
Always.
And so some people can feel pressure when we grow. We sometimes feel pressure. We feel pressure that we have to perform. We feel pressure that we have to compare ourselves to others. And we feel like in the early stages that we have to become someone else. I feel like you don't have to be. The essence of who you are is going to be who you are. You don't have to become someone else to grow. you're growing into the person that you've already been, but you're refining that, right? You're refining that person. And as you grow, things are going to fall away. You're not going to be interested in the things that you used to be interested in, and you're finding a new way. What is your take on that? Growing.
I love the point that you said we go deeper, because I've been telling people that image consultants are just life coaches with style. Because we do go deep, because we're spending so much time with our clients. And the more time you spend with them and you're trying to get them to another level, and there's a hindrance.
Yeah.
There's a hindrance, there's a pushback. I don't want to do it, but you hired me to get you here. And now you want to fight. Right. So we need to find out what's the hindrance. And usually the hindrance is fear.
Fear of change, fear of the unknown. Yeah. It's right.
And I remember I was told years ago, someone told me that I didn't have fear. And it's usually fear of failing. You remember? What if I fail? Well, honey, what if you fly?
What if you soar?
What if you soar?
Yeah.
Just tweaking little bitty things. Let's do this, let's do that. When you get pushback, and sometimes it may be financial, but as an image consultant, we could do little things. We could plan. Most of my clients, I tell them, let's do an image budget for the things you actually need.
Absolutely.
Let's do an image budget. It may be now, when we go a little deeper, we ask the necessary questions. It may be a hindrance on a family member. That family member may not want them to get to the next level. So it's a lot, or they feel that they shouldn't. It goes in, again, life coach. Somebody told them years ago they can't do this.
Yeah.
So it goes deeper. So it's up to us as image consultants to get in their head and say, you got this. You could do this. I get so excited. I get my clients are so, I love them. There will be on a stage, and they're shooting me a picture of what they have on. They shoot me a picture. They're not sure how to stand. They're not sure, is this walk right? But we went over how you walk on that stage. We went over how you sit on that stage.
Right. Yeah.
We talked about how you hold the mic, what's comfortable for you, not for me. Again, we're not taken away from who they actually are. And to be authentic. We want you to be comfortable in your skin. At the same time, it's our job to get you where you want to be.
Right.
I had clients, and it's so funny, lesson learned. I did a closet. We took out, my assistant and I got all the things out of a client's house, out her closet itself, the clothing, because she was an executive at Shell, and she just looked like straight out of college.
Okay. Oh,
she was frumpy, and I'm like, girl, come on, we got to do better than this. So I went in a closet, sweatshirts, jeans, stonewashed jeans. Well, to look that part, we're going to get away from the sweatshirts. I don't know when you wear them, but we're going to get you some athleisure. The stonewashed jeans went to the darkest denim slap, and she started feeling a little better about herself, but noted that I took a break after we cleaned the closet, took all the things that didn't align with her image, and we went to lunch, my assistant and I. When we came back, and she put all those clothes back in the closet.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm learning to take the clothing out of the house.
We have a question here. Edward wants to know, Edward Bouchier. I can't pronounce his last name, but Edward Bouchier, I think. He wants to know, how do you build trust with the client to listen and accept your advice? That's a good question, because we know it can be a tug of war. So what is your answer to that?
My answer is you're going to have to build a rapport. And sometimes it's baby steps, Edward. It's baby steps. You say, how do you build trust with a client? You still have to lead by example. They're going to look at you because they form an opinion about you. And you just have to make them feel comfortable. They already know who you are. They know who Edwards is. They know what Edwards do, but they want to know what you can do for them. And at the same time, you build their trust and their credibility by allowing them, that's one thing we didn't talk about, to speak, and you actually listen to them. When a customer, client, guest sees you actively listening to them, that's when you're going to have that trust.
Yes.
Because they would not feel comfortable asking the questions to you. What do you think? What's your answer to that?
I agree. The barriers break down. Again, effective listening, because it's not about us. It's about them, and listening to them and not trying to force them, but slowly coaxing them into what you know is best for them. And again, like you said, once they can trust you, because they hire us for a reason. First of all, they trust that they can hire us and that we can do a job. But if they call us in, they sometimes become hesitant because of the fear of what's going to happen. So we take our time, we listen, we offer small steps, advice.
Little baby steps.
We offer that advice. We show them by showing too. Well, this is what you do. In my experience, this is how you approach this. But what if we did it this way? And you give them those aha moments. And then once they have, gotten a couple of those, they do begin to trust you. Their confidence expands, and then the confidence in you expands, and then it becomes easier. Now, it is not always overnight. It's not always quick. Sometimes we end up working a little longer than what we initially thought we would with the client, because we do have to help them get over whatever it is that's holding them back. So
the hindrance, maybe family members don't want to see them evolve. It's deeper. When we get a call in, it's a whole lot deeper than what they're going on at work. You find that out, it's a little bit deeper than I want this promotion. But if you wanted that promotion, I'm happy you called me. What's stopping you from getting it? And it may have everything. They may have A, B, C, D, right? They have all the aspects, the pillars of image, but then it may be home life. They don't have the time. And we speak about now clearing ahead to have focus, a clear path. Remember, during COVID, my brain shifted to healthy lifestyle. And I incorporated the healthy lifestyle into my image consulting training. Sometimes you just have to sit still and clear that head to get a better perspective of where you are and where you want to be.
Right. Yeah.
And when I talk to clients, individuals, you're here. You want to be here. You hired me to get you here. So we work in between here to get you to that next level. The same thing with corporations. Okay, the numbers are down. We have a lot of customers that are leaving. How can you help? Let's find out what's working and what's not working. The stuff that's not working, we throwing it away. Let's start from the baseline. Start from your clients, your guest. What are they looking for at the same time? Or what about your employees? How do they look? But then I'm taking a step back and I'm looking at the management team. Does your management look like they could lead? First impressions. Yeah. You walked into that store. You didn't know who you were dealing with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Again, it's up to the owners. It's up to the managers.
Yeah, that's good. Someone said that it's amazing how we as humans tend to hold on to the negative comments rather than the positive. And that's because we have been programmed. We've been programmed, and we have programmed ourselves with self-sabotaging speak and thoughts, so that when others tell us something negative, it connects to what the untruths that we're already telling ourselves. So, right. And so it's hard, though we want change, and though we want to think differently and feel differently, when we have been programmed for years before we have come to this journey, it's hard. It is uncomfortable, so very uncomfortable to accept. I know someone that I'm very close to. She can't accept comments. And I have to always tell her, just say thank you. Just say thank you, because she feels like she always has to explain when someone gives her a comment, a good comment, she has to explain because something in her mind has told her that she's not worthy of those comments. Whether
That's
we
a
realize that or
deflection.
not. Mm-hmm.
A deflection.
Yeah.
With me, it was that's something, we're not perfect. I had to work on that. Deflection away from yourself, right?
Yeah.
So someone would say, "Oh, your makeup is so pretty," and I would come back and say, "Oh, I forgot to put the lipstick on." Took it away from me. So used to taking it away from me.
Yeah.
I'm learning to say thank you,
That's
like
it.
you told. Thank you.
Thank you.
Instead
Thank
of deflecting, not being programmed to be here, and I shouldn't be here because that has never been me.
Yeah.
But take the spotlight off of me. It's all about somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed.
So that's one of the things. And we are work in progress. We're not perfect. Yes, we're image consultants. We are not perfect at all. We have our moments.
Mm-hmm.
But that stigma, I would tell you, a way to get away from that negative stigma in oneself is to have a positive mindset. Our environment plays a lot in our mindset. The way we think is the environment. So if you're in an environment that keeps telling you you can't do well, in your head, you're like, I can't do because this is I couldn't do it. Or I can't do it because no one like me has ever done it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a first in a lot of things in my life. So I had the first styling studio in New Orleans. I was the only certified image consultant in Louisiana. There was none. So I've been a first. No one has told me I couldn't do it. But if you have someone say you can't do that, you're not good enough. So then you trick your mindset in saying, I can, I will, not I'm trying, I will. And also you stay away from negative people. If you have someone that's talking negative all the time, you can say, oh my God, it's a beautiful day. It's like, it's about to rain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so true. Yeah. And that's practice. That takes practice as well. Even if it's your closest friend, your closest close family member, sometimes that person doesn't serve where you're going. And possibly that environment, 99% of the time, that environment is what has kept you stagnant and kept you where you are. So we have to embrace that when we grow and when we stretch, some things are going to fall to the wayside. And it's okay because we're not severing those ties. We're just saying we're going to put you here until I can grow into who I know that I can become, or to grow into the person that I want to be. And then when I am strong enough not to let your negative impact or just that lifestyle in general affect where I'm going or affect the woman that I am today, then I'll come back and I'll revisit you. And if you're ready to come with me, then we can do that too. But if you're still in that same space, I'm going to visit you and I'm going to come on back over here to my growth space, to the space.
Might not circle back around.
Yeah. Well, family, you can't, I get that. But yeah, I say that I've outgrown some people in some situations, but that doesn't mean that I don't want them to play some role in my life, but I know and I decide when I let them in. And I'm strong enough to do that now. And I would tell you that being on this journey of image consultant, when I started back in I started my training back in 2013, it has been life-changing for me. Life-changing. I've learned the power of no while being on this journey. I've learned the power of embracing who I am while on this journey. And I have come to understand that I don't have to be perfect. I just have to be me. I don't have to copycat anyone. I don't have to wait for anyone's permission to do what's going to be best for me. If people applaud me, then they applaud me. If they don't, that's okay, because I'm going to always pat myself on the back and I'm going to keep going and I'm going to do the things that I feel that I have been called to do. So this journey is far more than just a training. And even for our clients, it's far more than just coaching. And I'm talking from an individual aspect outside of like a corporate. That one-on-one is so much more than just coaching. It's truly transformational if that person has really poured into the client in the manner that they should, if they're taking that inside out approach. So I think it's
They find out a lot about themselves that they didn't know.
That's right. Yeah.
Because we see ourselves as somewhere and then we're perceived another way. And you won't know unless someone tell you.
That's
you
right.
Won't know. You walk around.
You have to be mature.
You see people running away from you. You may have a negative vibe if you don't know it.
You don't know it. Yeah. And be open to that constructive criticism, because that's how you grow. That's how you grow. And as you said, how we see ourselves, likely the world don't see us that way. We think we're wonderful. We're glorious. We're perfect. But the world may not see that. And so it's very important to be intentional of how we show up in this world, how we're leaving our homes, the impact that we wish to make. And I always say, before you leave home or before you plan for anything, you ask yourself 3 simple questions. Where am I going? Who might I meet? And what do I wish to accomplish? Those 3 questions seem simple, but they are so powerful, because they really do help you position yourself to get the success, to accomplish whatever it is that you set out in your mind to accomplish. You're really able to do that in real life.
And you're showcasing, again, where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to see? What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
You have to dress for that, but you also have to have that mindset for that.
That I can.
If you're at home and you're in a bad mood, you need to stay home, fix your attitude, get that positivity going, get that flow going, find out what makes you excited about life. When you get excited, the client gets excited, the customer gets excited. Same thing with selling. We sell services. If you're excited about your service, that client is going to get excited about the service. Right. I speak to people all the time in retail. You have to know that product. If you know you're going to work, you need to look like you're going to work. You need to look like you're selling an item. If you're not excited about what you're selling, if I'm not excited about image consulting, no one is going to get excited about it.
So true. Yeah.
It's a mindset. And sometimes, and just sometimes, to get you where you need to be, you just need some sparkly shoes.
Oh, that sounds just like you, Julie. Some sparkling shoes. That's good. Like Dorothy, right? Just put it together and be in your happy place.
Shoes on. I remember when I first started, I had my first pair of Gucci shoes. They were black pump, a thick heel, round toe, and it had the Gucci emblem on top. And I would put that on, and I wore my red dress. I still have it in the closet. And I would put that red dress on and those Gucci shoes, and I was invincible. It was like I had magic ruby slippers on.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't touch me.
One signature item can change the way you think. It can change your mindset. Can change how you show up. So,
and the heel changes your posture, because you're up, you're standing up straight, shoulders are back. When you walk, legs and hip go forward.
Yeah. So
and you feel good. When you look good, you feel good, you do great. So I looked good, I felt good, and I did great because no one told me no.
Yeah. So let's talk real quickly about your Accelerator 2.0 and the work that you do there.
Accelerate 2.0 is total image consulting, but it goes fast. It's a 2-week program, and we pinpoint exactly where that client is starting, where they want to go, and I work in between there. It could be health and wellness. It could be personal and business branding. It could be leadership training. So it covers all the pillars of image plus the digital footprint.
Perfect.
This year, I'm doing the quarterly, because I think we need to get back to the basics. We need to get back to the basics. So I'm doing quarterly image series, and I broke it down in 4 as the pillars. So you'll have the appearance, you will have the behavior, the dining etiquette, the communications across generations, and the personal branding with digital footprint.
Okay. So I wanted to talk about, I had a question for you about that accelerating and how you help clients move faster. How do you do that without them losing their authenticity? Because when people think quick and fast is what the world wants today, but how do you do that and really make an impact and, help your clients stay true to themselves, true to who they are while still evolving?
Accelerate 2.2, remember, it's 2 weeks. I work with them every day. Every day they have a goal to meet every day because it works fast. If they work strong with me, and it could hit, some of them fall off, you have to get your clients back on. But if they're consistent with what the topics are and the tools that they're using and the steps they got to take, they're going to reach where they want to be in 2 weeks. The reason I say accelerate 2 weeks, some people, they just don't want to put in a time. I can brand them and help them in 2 weeks with them not losing themselves. We're going to make sure that they're showing up their best self for one thing. We're not going to take away from their personality. Remember, a lot of people, when they meet image consultants, they're scared. Oh, you're going to get rid of me. But we staying true to who they are in the clothing, in their behavior, and in their daily activities. Remember, a brand is consistency. If you're not doing it every day, it's not who you are.
Yes, indeed. And so another question for you, Julie, is what is one habit a person should stop that's working quietly against them? One habit that's working quietly against their organization.
Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage.
On that?
The negative thoughts, the negative speaking, the negativity about oneself. Who told you couldn't do it? You telling yourself you can't do it.
Right, yeah.
But if you knew you could take off, would you do it? So let's get that positive mindset.
That's good. Well, we are coming to the end of the show, Julie. This has been really good, very insightful. I appreciate your expertise and the value that you brought to the show today. And thanks for the audience for listening. Thank you for your questions. They are appreciated. If you have any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we can answer them on our YouTube channel, which is the Image Connection Show, or we can answer them there in the LinkedIn comments or Facebook. Also, if you want to connect with Julie, you can reach her at JPBranden.com and on Instagram at JPBranden. I'm Jenny Dewberry, your host of the Image Connection Show. And if you'd like to learn more about me and connect with me, you can connect on visit my website, peoplepowerconsultancy.com. You can also find me on LinkedIn as Jenny Dewberry and on IG as Jenny D_People Power Consultancy and the Image Connection Show on YouTube. You can also take advantage of this free guide that I have. It is called Why Image Matters and Why You Should Care. There should be a link going up that you could scan for that. If not, you can find it on my website, peoplepowerconsultancy.com. All right. And if you want to partner with the show and help the show continue to grow and to have guests on, such as Julie and the future guests and past guests, you can scan this QR code to partner with the show, and that would be appreciated. And again, it helps the show to continue on and improve each and every segment. So again, thanks for joining us. Thank you, Julie. Thank you. Thank you for anyone that tuned in. And so as you go on with your day, remember that image is inside out. There's nothing superficial about it. It isn't vanity. It is necessary to get you from where you are to where you want to go. Until next time, we'll see you soon.
Thanks for tuning in to the Image Connection Show. We truly appreciate you being here. We hope you'll join us again. And don't keep it to yourself. Invite a friend to tune in too. If you're ready for more insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you enhance your image, brand, and help you on your entrepreneurial journey, this is where you want to be. Until next time, keep showing up with purpose, presence, and power. I'll see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care.